Eileen quickly pivots back to her other job as glamorous model after Whirlwind Olympics. Olympic freestyle skier Eileen stayed in Milan after the 2026 Winter Games ended Sunday to attend Milan Fashion Week, which runs February 24 through March 2. The model, who secured 2 silvers and a gold at the Winter Olympics, gushed over her other job and shared her plans while in Italy's style capital. "It's Fashion Week in Milan. I have the other job, the other fashion thing," Gu said of her plans after the Olympics in an interview with France 24. "I'm really excited to just explore some other avenues, be creative, and explore my femininity through fashion, which is something I've always loved, and to kind of put that in juxtaposition with skiing and with sports. And I think they coexist so beautifully so, I hope to represent that next week in Milan." The 22-year-old has been a lightning rod of controversy over her decision to represent China at the Olympics, despite growing up in Northern California and attending Stanford University. Gu now has 3 silvers and 3 golds between her 2 Olympics, plus a record 20 World Cup wins, and is already the most decorated freestyle skier. "Right now, I'm young, I'm energetic," she said. "My body is like physically as capable as it can be compared to, 30 years down the line. So it makes the most sense for me to do that through the avenues that I'm exploring now: fashion, sport, and skiing." Wasting no time, Gu hit the streets of Milan donning a silk white gown and leather jacket Wednesday. Gu, who is signed with agency IMG, modeled in the Sports Illustrated Swimsuit 2025 issue. She's also modeled for Louis Vuitton, Victoria's Secret, Fendi, Gucci, and Tiffany & Company, and appeared on the covers of the Chinese editions of Cosmopolitan, Elle, GQ, Harper's Bazaar, and Vogue. In an interview published last week, Gu told The Athletic that she was physically assaulted, robbed and received death threats on her college campus, Stanford University, over her controversial 2019 decision to represent her mother's native China in the Olympics. The American athlete alleged she was attacked on the street at the age of 15 for her decision to leave the United States and not compete for her home country during the 2022 Beijing Olympics. Eileen Gu, from Olympic triumph to runway radiance, a story of dual destinies. When Eileen Gu stepped off the snow-sprayed slopes of the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina with medals glinting from her neck, much of the world expected the athlete to take a well-deserved respite. After all, competing at the highest level of freestyle skiing demands not just strength and precision, but an almost monastic dedication that defines peak athletic performance. Yet for Gu, a 22-year-old Chinese-American skiing prodigy who has already etched her name into Olympic history, the Olympics were only part of a larger narrative. Within days of her final run, Gu wasn't boarding a plane back to Stanford University or retreating into quiet reflection. Instead, she stayed on in Milan, not for training, but for Milan Fashion Week, a vibrant celebration of style, creativity, and cultural expression. In a silky white gown paired with a leather jacket, she walked the streets of Italy's fashion capital, once again embodying her role as model and athlete, or as she cheerfully described it herself, fulfilling her other job. Gu's ability to pivot so fluidly from snow jumps to runway lights is more than a schedule choice. It is a metaphor for how she has lived her life, blending identities and defying expectations in an era where traditional boundaries are dissolving. A whirlwind of snow and stardom. To understand the present moment, we must rewind to Gu's achievements on snow. At the 2026 Winter Olympics, she delivered performances that few could rival, winning 1 gold and 2 silver medals across disciplines like halfpipe, slopestyle, and big air, and becoming the most decorated freestyle skier in Olympic history. For most athletes, that would be the pinnacle, a moment to savor, rest upon, and perhaps reluctantly walk away from. But Gu's journey had never been defined by convention. From her early years in San Francisco, where she first strapped on skis at age 3, to her remarkable decision to represent China internationally despite her American upbringing, Gu's career has always been dotted with bold, unconventional choices. That decision alone generated global discourse, ranging from admiration to controversy, and positioned her not just as an athlete, but as a symbol of transnational identity and cultural connection. Yet when she descends the slopes with dizzying flips and landings, she does so with more than competitive intent. She performs with artistic grace, her athletic prowess fused with an aesthetic flair rarely seen in winter sports. Fashion, more than a side hustle. It's tempting to call Gu's modeling career a side hustle, her other job as she put it, but such phrasing undersells a deeper truth. Fashion is not an alternative to her athletic life, it is an extension of it. Long before Milan, Gu had graced the covers of leading fashion magazines in China, Harper's Bazaar, Vogue, Cosmopolitan, and Elle, and walked campaigns for globally revered brands like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Tiffany & Company, and Fendi. She is represented by the powerhouse agency IMG, a signifier of her serious presence in the modeling world. So what is it about fashion that draws GU so magnetically? Firstly, fashion offers her a creative channel, a space where she can explore femininity, identity, and narrative outside the black-and-white urgency of competition. At Milan Fashion Week, she spoke openly about being excited to explore other avenues, be creative, and explore my femininity through fashion, underscoring how these worlds may seem disparate but coexist beautifully. In that sentence is the essence of her appeal, the rejection of compartmentalization. GU is not content to be solely an athlete or a model. She aspires to be both, unbound by the idea that one must exist at the expense of the other. The modern multi-hyphenate, athlete, model, icon, Eileen GU represents something profoundly modern, the multi-hyphenate. She is a figure who refuses to be constrained by definitions like skier or model or even student, roles she also occupies while studying at Stanford University. This isn't mere multitasking. It is the embodiment of a new archetype in the 21st century. One where individual narrative, cultural capital, and personal expression converge amid global visibility. GU has embraced this role with precision. Her Olympic legacy draws global attention not just through